Y'all thought Goodwill had bad pricing. Authentic brass vase. $7.99 at Goodwill. $69.99 at St. Vincent's. I'll pass.
5 things you will never catch me going to garage and estate sales without. Number 1, cash. Cash is king. A lot of places do accept digital payment, but when in doubt, it's good to have cash on hand just in case they don't. Number 2 is my phone. And yes, I'm a millennial, so of course I'm gonna have my phone. You guys, I am on my way to garage sales, but look at this sign that somebody put up. Are you joking? This is so funny. I think I have to go just to tell them I love their sign. I just drove through the entirety of Laurel Canyon to get this estate sale, so let's hope it's a good one. Gorgeous. Update, it totally wasn't. Reminder that estate sales mean I get to go in the house. Otherwise, it's a garage sale. Thrifters of Orange County, come with me to a brand new location of Orange County Goodwill. This is over in Anaheim on Brookhurst Street. You guys, I was so excited to be invited by OC Goodwill for this grand opening. I've actually never been to a ribbon cutting ceremony, so it was super exciting to be a part of it. Of course, we had to have the CEO of OC Goodwill speak. We introduced these hot take, that's dumb.
But you know what I always say, you can be miserable before you eat a cookie, and you can be miserable afterwards, but never while you're eating a cookie. So that's just what I'm gonna do.
Time to play my new favorite game. Is it vintage or is it home goods? I found this piece at the thrift store. I was looking at it. I was thinking, is it solid brass? Is it a vintage knockoff? What's going on here? What do you guys think? And there it is. It's home goods. And then I dropped it. So, for embarrassment.
One of my favorite things to do on vacation is thrift in other cities, so let's go to the Pismo Beach Antique Mall. I loved this beautiful little city painting. This Cruel had to come home with me, so I did take it home. Look at this Golden Gate Bridge with the gears and stuff, so cool. This was a solid brass seat. You see, the thing about me is I love to shop secondhand, and when I'm shopping secondhand, I am almost always going to come with me to one of the most insane estate sales of my lifetime. Guys, this was so much fun. We are in the estate of an antique hoarder, so there was so much to look through. And when I say antiques, I mean actual antiques, meaning over 100-year-old items. So fun, so much to dig through. I actually didn't come until the second day, and there was still so much left in this house, so I can't even imagine what the first.
Look, I can understand that this many people love Taylor Swift, but I just do not buy that this many people enjoy football.
Today I'm upgrading my product photography for my small business. My name's Amber and I sell cool vintage stuff on Instagram. Previously I've been using these flats, but honestly they're just not a good long-term solution. I really wanted a completely seamless experience with my product photography, so I headed to Amazon and first I found this backdrop stand. I love it because it's super tall. Then of course I needed the backdrop itself. I wanted something that was easy to clean and not going to get damaged easily. Then I was rudely interrupted by my boyfriend who didn't know I was filming. Hey babe. Overall, the entire setup process was super easy. The only bummer was that the clamps that came did not actually fit with the backdrop that I had. Luckily, I had some other clamps on hand. These are super cheap from Home Depot. So I went ahead and got my boyfriend's help and we went ahead and hung this baby up. And slowly but surely, it all came together into exactly what I wanted. An extremely seamless experience where I'm not having those ugly seams anymore. This is what it looks like from afar. And then what I'm going to do is put a table underneath it to be able to prop up my products. Entire setup is linked in my bio.
Oh, that was crazy. I've never actually experienced that sort of atmosphere again before. It's absolutely electric.
Come with me to the Brooklyn Flea Market in the Dumbo neighborhood, guys. I'm so excited. I discovered this on TikTok and I was super excited to actually get to go. I got to the market around 11 a.m. on Sunday morning and it was definitely pretty warm outside, but we're right by the water, so there's a nice breeze flowing through. This first booth I stopped at had a lot of really cool and unique prints. Some were vintage, some were just reprinted. I always gravitate towards glassware, so I was was absolutely loving all of the glass that this person had at their booth. This was probably my favorite booth. It was actually right near one of the entrances. So many cool, unique pieces, and these had the best prices of the entire market. I actually definitely came back to this booth to purchase some stuff at the end. This was one of my favorite pieces I found. I didn't end up picking it up, but I did absolutely love it. And again, this is that one same booth, so lots of really cool items. Then I moved on to another person who sold some stuff similar to what I typically sell, some Pyrex, some pottery, some kitchenware, all kinds of really cool stuff. And then of course, we love a glassware moment. These were the coolest salt and pepper shakers I think I've ever seen. I actually kind of regret not buying them. Purse to this vendor who had a fan because it was necessary. Lots of brass, you guys. So many brass animals. Not the cheapest by any means, but absolutely worth it to find those like really rare, unique brass pieces. Look at this cross stitch. Look at that monkey. Obsessed. Never seen anything like it. This was apparently from the 40s. I thought it was beautiful. Would you ever go to this market? Let me know. A day in my life in New York City, visiting for the 8th time. Yes, I've come here once a year, almost every year for the past 10 years. First stop was the Chelsea Flea Market. This actually was my first time, will not be my last. Found some absolutely gorgeous finds out today. However, it is the middle of July, which means I was sweltering hot by the end of this hour. So I headed across the street to Maman, which is a cafe. Got a cute little seat, table for one, and was just admiring the decor. It was super cute. They brought the inside outside. Also, can we appreciate this avocado tartine? Scrumptious, delicious, A+ presentation. Also appreciated the reuse of these vintage lampshades. Well done, guys. Headed across the street afterwards to a thrift store. This was a boutique thrift store, is I guess probably the right way to say that, but they had some really great finds. Then I headed over to Union Square in the Flatiron District. Guys, look how gorgeous New York was looking today. I mean, she was hot, but she was cute. Then we headed over to Strand Books. I actually haven't been here in like maybe 10 years. I think I came here the first time I ever came to New York City and have not been back since. So it was great to see it again. Also, pasta tarot cards. Who knew? I love New York so much. Then I headed over to this board game like cafe, which I thought was so cool. Do we have these in LA? I'm sure we do. I just don't know about them. Then I headed over to Times Square. Not my favorite part of New York at all, but I had to get to the theater district for show number 1, which was Grey House. Guys, go see this. This was such a trip. So amazing. Joe Mantello, I'm obsessed with you. Right next door was also the Museum of Broadway, so I just popped into the gift shop to see what they had available. Also, fun fact, I actually work for the company that makes the software for this photo booth, so that was kind of fun to see out in the wild. And in a very New York twist, I suddenly found myself at Bernadette Peters' 25th anniversary of Broadway Barks. I also got to see Carol Kane talking about dogs that were available for adoption. Such a New York vibe. I ended the day with Kimberly Akimbo. Couldn't recommend this show more. Also appreciated some Subway music artists, and then saw a rat for the end of the day. Thanks for coming along.
Light work, no reaction.
Light work, no reaction.
Ooh. Okay, it's got a little kick.
So lately, my algorithm is filled with all the positive things that AI and ChatGPT are doing for marketing and things like that. But I'm not seeing enough conversation about the like atrocities that are being created. So I'm going to show you a few. For context, my friend owns a photo booth business, and she also educates people on like how. All right, I've been avoiding it, but drag me, TikTok. Ouch. That's trauma. Okay. So you love home decor, but when people start throwing around terms like mid-century modern, Art Deco, Hollywood Regency, you get a little confused and intimidated. This is a great question. Let's talk about it. Now, because you're asking me personally, I think no. I don't think it's rude to negotiate at garage sales at all. In fact, I think it's kind of part of the culture. Now, I do think there are ways to be rude when you're negotiating. Obviously, don't be aggressive. And just think about like what you're offering. You know, if someone's asking for $100 on something and you offer $25, like that could be considered a little rude. But negotiation is absolutely part of the game with garage sales, and frankly, I find it to be some of the easiest negotiating that you'll do. The people at these sales want to get rid of the items, so as long as you're not like completely lowballing them, they're probably gonna say yes, at least in my experience. And do you want to know my absolute biggest tip for negotiation? It's probably not one you've heard before. But my biggest tip when you're negotiating the price to come down on, an item at a garage sale or, the total price, whatever it is, when the person gives you the total, don't say anything. Don't have any reaction. Just think about it. Like, Because what that does is that immediately strikes doubt into them, and there's a good chance, especially if they're uncomfortable with that kind of awkward silence, that they'll come down. Body language and silence are very, very powerful in the world of sales, and garage sales are no exception. So use it to your advantage and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. All this to say, yes, it is absolutely okay to negotiate, just don't be a dick about it.